So in this video, we'll look at the concept of Sarvodaya. So Sarvodaya means the progress of all. For Gandhi, dignity of labor was central to Sarvodaya and the rise of all in the community. So Sarvodaya is the progress of all. For Gandhi, dignity of labor was central to Sarvodaya and the rise of all in the community. The growth of the country was to be achieved through the progress of all the members of the community, including the members of the lowest rung. Gandhi was not merely for the growth of the economy. It was the growth of all individuals, that is Sarvodaya, the growth of all. This was what Gandhi was interested in. Gandhi was not simply interested in the growth of the economy. If the country was growing at 10% per annum and the poor were still in poverty and they were struggling to even feed their kids one time in the day, then Gandhi wouldn't consider this to be growth at all. For Gandhi, growth meant growth of all individuals. This is what his concept of Sarvodaya shows. Gandhi proposed the concept of Sarvodaya, which was based on three basic principles. The first one, the good of the individual is contained in the good of all. I repeat, the good of the individual is contained in the good of all. The second point, dignity of labor. The lawyer's work has to have the same value as that of a barber's, in as much as all have the same right of earning their livelihood from their work. So this is very critical. Gandhi believed in dignity of labor. It didn't matter whether you were a farmer or whether you were an industrialist or whether you were a teacher. For Gandhi, all work had the same dignity. Everybody had an equal right to earn their livelihood doing their profession. The third point again is dignity of labor. The life of labor, that is the life of the tiller of the soil and the handicraftsman, is the life worth living. So Gandhi gave great stress to labor, physical labor in fact. So Gandhi laid great stress on physical labor and he respected all of the people who did physical labor. These were farmers, it could be handicraftsmen, it could be artisans, it could be a carpenter. Gandhi says this is the life worth living, a life of physical toiling. Again, this is all connected to Gandhi's concept of the dignity of labor and under the bigger umbrella of Sarvodaya. While explaining his concept of Sarvodaya, Gandhi began with a critique of capitalism and socialism. Gandhi is critical of capitalists. He says they are the most industrialized and wealthy, yet poverty in the country was rife. Capitalism neglects the universal manpower and concentrates power in the hands of the few who amass fortunes at the expense of the many. So this is Gandhi's critique of capitalism. Capitalism leads to great industrialization and it leads to great wealth, but poverty continues to be rife in capitalistic societies. Capitalism neglects the universal manpower and concentrates power in the hands of the few, and these few people amass fortunes at the expense of the many. Gandhi is also critical of communists and socialists. Gandhi says that socialists ignore the role and independence of the individual. They also use violence as a means to bring about reform, which is not acceptable to Gandhi. So Gandhi is critical that the individual's independence or liberty is forsaken by the socialists, and he says that socialists and communists use violence as a means to bring about reform. Gandhi is not okay with this. The fourth point Gandhi makes is, I want freedom for full expression of my personality. This is what Gandhi says. Gandhi, whenever you look at Gandhi, you will understand that Gandhi is a liberal. At the same time, Gandhi also demands a welfare state. Gandhi also demands rights for the lowest sections of the society. This is about Gandhi's understanding of Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya is the progress of all. Please watch these concepts multiple times, they are important. Now we'll move on to the next concept. This is called theory of trusteeship. Gandhi wanted complete equality as far as basic needs of the people were concerned. Not just the state, but every individual was responsible for making sure the basic needs of all people were equally satisfied. So Gandhi wanted complete equality as far as basic needs of the people were concerned. What are the basic needs? Basic needs means right to a life of dignity. This is what basic needs means. This means a proper shelter, proper food to eat, proper clothing, and a job that is dignified to work. It could be any kind of a job. For example, it could be a farmer, it could be a carpenter, it could be an artisan, anything. So it should be a life worth living. These are the basic needs. So Gandhi wanted complete equality as far as basic needs of the people was concerned. Gandhi further says that it is not just the responsibility of the state, but it is the responsibility of every individual for making sure that the basic needs of all people are equally satisfied. Gandhi wanted to extend the satisfaction of basic needs even to animals. His extension of rights to even animal rights is a great example of his holistic philosophy. Gandhi's theory of trusteeship can be summed up with the following paragraph. Everything belonged to God and was given by God. Therefore, it was meant for his people as a whole, not for particular individuals. When an individual had more than his proportionate portion, he became a trustee of that portion for God's people. So I repeat, everything belonged to God and was given by God. Therefore, it was meant for his people as a whole, not for particular individuals. When an individual had more than his proportionate portion, he became a trustee of that portion for God's people. If some person has more than his proportionate portion, it means he is a trustee of God for that portion to be distributed or to be given to different people so that the basic needs of these people can be satisfied. Hence, Gandhi gave the rich a duty towards the society and his fellow citizens, a duty of catering first towards the basic needs of the citizens of the country before indulging in wasteful and fanciful expenditure. So Gandhi is clearly hinting towards a welfare state, and he says that the richest people in the society have a moral obligation to cater to the basic needs of the poorest in the society. The third point we look at is all humans are born equal and hence have an equal right to equal opportunity. At the very least, their basic needs must be satisfied. Gandhi clearly is advocating equality of opportunity. At the same time, he is also saying that a welfare state needs to be established, and it is not just the state which is responsible for satisfying the basic needs of all people, but it is also the duty of all citizens, especially the rich citizens who have more than their proportionate portion of God's gift. The fourth point we look at is Gandhi hoped that the world would adopt the theory of trusteeship, and this would be India's gift to the world. He hoped that such behavior would put an end to violence and wars. So Gandhi greatly stressed upon his theory of trusteeship, and he hoped that not just India but all countries across the world would adopt his theory of trusteeship, and the basic needs of the lowest rungs of the society would be satisfied. We now look at the concept of Swadeshi. Swadeshi is that spirit in us which encourages us to use the services of our immediate surroundings as compared to services from far remote places. I repeat, Swadeshi is that spirit in us which encourages us to use the services of our immediate surroundings as compared to services from more remote places. Swadeshi focuses on indigenous products and services and is against imports, as imports hurts local laborers and industries. So Swadeshi focuses on indigenous products and services. Swadeshi is against imports, as imports hurt local laborers and industries. Every village of India will almost be self-supporting and self-contained unit, exchanging only such necessary commodities with other villages which cannot be locally produced. I repeat, every village of India will almost be self-supporting and self-contained unit, exchanging only such necessary commodities with other villages which cannot be locally produced. Swadeshi and self-sufficiency go together, as do decentralization and cooperation. quoting Gandhi, self-sufficiency does not mean narrowness. To be self-sufficient is not to be altogether self-contained. In no circumstances would we be able to produce all the things we need. So though our aim is complete self-sufficiency, we shall have to get from outside the village what we cannot produce in the village. We shall have to produce more of what we can in order thereby to obtain in exchange what we are unable to produce. So Gandhi says that whatever can be produced in the village should be produced in the village. The village should be self-sufficient, but Gandhi also says that not everything can be produced in the village, and whatever cannot be produced in the village can be bought from outside. But whatever we produce should be produced in bulk so that we have the necessary resources to exchange whatever we need to buy outside with these resources. So this is what Gandhi says. Dependence on society teaches an individual the lesson to humility. So Gandhi is clearly also advocating a societal living or a community living. So Gandhi, you cannot bracket Gandhi as a liberal or as a communitarian at all. Gandhi's philosophy is very wide. He is a liberal, at the same time he is also a communitarian. He advocates a liberal state, at the same time he also advocates a welfare state. Gandhi at the same time does not go for democracy as is understood by the Western world, but he goes for a democracy that he calls as Swaraj, or self-realization and self-rule. So Gandhi's philosophy cannot be bracketed into orthodox ideas of the concepts that we have seen before. So the fourth point that we look at is, of course, Gandhi understood that self-sufficiency also had its limits. Villages or even clusters of villages could not remain in isolation and have all the products that are necessary. It would not make a strong economy. They all have to come together to contribute to national well-being. Self-sufficiency too has a limit. Drops in separation could only fade away. Drops in cooperation made the ocean. So Gandhi was all for cooperation of the villages to make a bigger national economy. Gandhi was not entirely against foreign products also. For example, medicines and other life-saving drugs could be imported and used till self-sufficiency was achieved. So Gandhi was clearly not against all kinds of imports. Any life-saving drugs and medicines that may be necessary could be imported and used till self-sufficiency is achieved. In a more broader sense, Gandhi's Swadeshi can be looked at as follows. Swadeshi in a religion meant the tenets and customs of the religion have to be preserved and followed. Swadeshi in politics means the use of indigenous institutions and an organization of the state and government in a way suitable to the ways of the people. So Gandhi says Swadeshi in religion means respecting the old customs and traditions of our own religion, and they have to be preserved and followed. Swadeshi in politics means the use of indigenous institutions and an organization of the state and government in such a way that it suits the way of the people of the country. Swadeshi in economics meant the use of local products as against foreign produced products. We have already seen this. This is Gandhi's conception of the concept of Swadeshi. We have also looked at Gandhi's theory of trusteeship in this video. Please go through the video multiple times so that you have a better understanding of these concepts. Thank you.